dear diary or something. We looted Kevin, that dastardly son of a bitch that tried to kill us. We found a pretty nice dagger. Be good to kill something with. And funny enough, there are a bunch of sketches of all of us in there. I can't make heads or tails of it. Then we decided what to do with the bodies. Floated pretty nicely before it sank. I don't know if anyone noticed. Aster and Wayland went home and left Kess in the care of a family physician, so I think she'll be in good hands while we try and figure all this out. After that, we came back to Bridgetown, somewhere near the docks. We found a boat, got on that boat, and now we're gonna get out of Dodge. Love, your dearest David.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Children of Ash, a real play RPG podcast where we tell stories about the world after the world. I'm Dylan, your storyteller and game master for the evening, and surrounding us is our table of players. Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi!
What's up, listeners?
Before we begin, we'd like to invite you to follow us on Facebook for updates on episode releases and other podcast news. Let me try that again.
He's having a stroke, everyone.
Before we begin, we would like to invite you to follow us on Facebook for updates on episode releases and other podcast news, to support our Patreon to help us keep improving the show, and join our Discord community. All of these links can be found in the episode description, so you have absolutely no excuses. Additionally, I want to take a moment to thank our creative partners again. All of our players are currently using Racial Origins adapted from Nations and Canons by Flagbearer Games. They make historical supplements for all of your 18th century RPG campaign needs. And we've also been working with the Wild Court on creature designs. And I'm really excited for the party to be leaving the wall, so maybe we'll be more likely to bump into something. They do Fae-themed and other kind of more mystical type content for 5th edition D&D. But enough of that. Let's hear from the party.
Hi, this is Jesse. I play Wayland. Wayland is your average, humble, everyday adventuring boy genius. And if Wayland was an 11-year-old in this world, he would be right at the point where he'd be relieving himself of the shackles of his parents' musical taste and under the complete conviction that he had just discovered and was the first person to discover this Weird Al Yankovic guy and is the coolest thing in the world.
I was sure you were going to say K-pop. I was positive you were going to say K-pop.
I could definitely see him as a K-pop fan.
Secret K-pop fan.
As soon as Weird Al covers a K-pop song, That's his gateway.
Yeah, I thought though you were about to go into the whole like will have just discovered this new band Nirvana, which was
Yeah.
the whole thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing now again too. The number
Yeah,
of like 13-year-olds I've seen with like Nirvana shirts on, and I get this old man impulse like that. Do you even know who they? No, don't be like that.
Do they at least know that he's dead though? Because that was the big thing. Is like, finding this quote new band, and then you're like, yeah, no, not only are they not new, they're dead, or the lead is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they'll bring him back to life in the way that our generation did Tupac and the previous one did Elvis.
Yes.
I think we were a little too present to deny Kurt Cobain's death, but I believe in Gen Z. They believe all kinds of I love them, but their conspiracy theories are off the hook.
To be fair, with AI, it's totally possible to bring him back.
Ugh, yeah.
Oh, he'd hate that.
Yes, he.
Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I play Derek Henridge, a scholar from the Artificers College with increasingly conflicted loyalties. If Derek were alive today and listening to music, he would be seeking out obscure symphonic recordings on their original wax cylinders.
Mm.
Hi, I'm Juliet. I play Aster Morestes, a formerly carefree light cleric in a confusing, ongoing psychic dialogue with their deity. In our contemporary world, Aster would probably be very into art pop. I imagine them being a big fan of Caroline Polachek.
Hi, I'm Peter. I play David Davidson, big hulking man from the north. And if he were in our world and listened to music, he would probably listen to Scandinavian death metal as a way, just before he goes to sleep.
That's the best time to listen to Scandinavian death metal.
Of course.
No joke, actually. I used to pass out on the bus home from high school listening to metal. It was like the only time I would listen to it. But for some reason, just that like repetitive double kick drum that's in so many metal tracks, it's just like, okay, yeah, no, I'm passing out now.
Hi, I'm Valentine. I play Rez, a gregarious, curious, mischievous young man who is just recently a boy from the river and the south. Rez, were he alive and in our world, would listen to probably something like Southern Gothic and dark wave electro bluegrass.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, bunch of that would probably serve well for the world. My fact kind of tied into the prompt that you all went off of this week. The music for the entirety of Dumla, I actually have a Spotify playlist that is like, this is the kind of stuff that if this was a movie or if this was a video game, this is the kind of thing that I'd want to have in the background that I can't play on the podcast, but and would probably actually be too distracting to play behind us anyway. But a lot of it served as inspiration for when I was sending Fester Spunk stuff for the theme for inspiration. So probably one of the biggest of those was the Bastion soundtrack by Darren Korb, which has a bunch of that like weird bluegrassy type stuff, but also a bunch of world stuff, a little bit of electronica, some hard rock. It's pretty fun.
One of my favorite game soundtracks.
Another soundtrack, the music that I've been imagining this whole time. Have you ever seen the movie Ravenous?
No.
So Ravenous is okay, I don't want to oversell it, but it might be the greatest thing ever. Ravenous is a late 90s movie that I was the only person who saw. It's a cannibal love story Western with Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce? Yeah. And it's brilliant. It's a great commentary on like toxic masculinity before that was even a concept. Amazingly homoerotic, And the music for it, if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I listened to it, but I remember it being wonderful, was kind of modern, but also like composed and played with like on hurdy-gurdies and things like that. So it's this weird mix of contemporary melody, but instruments that you just do not hear anymore.
Yeah. Some of the other stuff that I sent over to Fester, Valraven, which is like, I believe they're from the Faroe Islands, but it's kind of folk music of that kind of area, but with some electronica and some kind of more modern, not just instrumentation, because it's some like more classical instrumentation, but definitely more modern production and kind of almost remixed type stuff. It's some really cool stuff.
I was reading about the Faroe Islands and like doing Google Street View around there just like 2 days ago. I'd never thought about that place before in my life.
Cool.
A weird little coincidence.
It looks like a beautiful place. I'd love to visit.
Just not during the whale slaughtering.
Fair. Yeah, and then the third inspiration was the Hyperlight Drifter soundtrack, which is a little bit more of what I imagine when you are all out traveling in the wilderness, kind of ambienty, synth, funky, cool shit. But anyway, well, that's enough of that. Before we jump right in, is there anything that anyone wants or needs to get done in the 24 hours or so we have before the Spice Merchant pushes off? For anybody who may have forgotten, the Spice Merchant is the vessel that you all have boarded. Rez, you may not really have a whole great memory because your character was very out of it through that entire exchange.
I'm going to say that Rez is going to sleep until we're underway. There's probably stuff that I could get done, but I don't think I'm going to have it in me.
Okay, fair. Anybody else?
Derek is going to pen a letter to his friend Caleb in Arches. He's been wanting to check in on him, see how he's been doing. He hasn't seen him since before he left Arches.
Which is how many years ago? Or months?
It's going on 3 years now.
Okay.
They were really close before, but hasn't seen him since, and thinks about going to pay him a visit, but knows there isn't time now, so gonna pen a letter, then see if I can just drop it on his doorstep before we head out.
Waylon's gonna send a message back to the
Drop Institute?
No, but the main like butlery servant person there. Wouldn't be a butler. It would be head of secretary of the institute, or
you know what? I don't have an official title in mind, so I think secretary is probably fine.
Steward.
Steward, there we go. That would be great. Yeah. That sounds a little bit more, fantasy.
Officially, yeah. Send a message to the head steward, because Grandpa Hale knows that we're leaving, but he doesn't necessarily tell everybody everything. So send a message to the head steward, and mostly just remind him, like, remember, I've set up a lot of booby traps in my studio to make sure my relatives don't go in there. Please do not go in there and hurt yourselves. Most of them are non-lethal, but they're all going to be an inconvenience. So it's better if it's left alone. I don't want any of you guys to get hurt. I do not mind if my cousins get hurt. But something to that.
You know I'm now going to have the steward go in and try to clear the booby traps because of insurance purposes, right?
I mean, he knows where most of them are. I mean, it's mostly just, dye traps and, tar that you'll stick to. Think very Home Alone. Like, these are non-lethal, but conspicuous that you broke in.
All right. David, Aster, are you doing anything before we push off?
Nope, I don't. I have nothing I need to do.
Aster?
Nope.
All right. Well, then.
I am recovering a level of exhaustion. It's just a long sleep, right?
Yeah, it's a long rest. So I would say that by the time that they push off. You've recovered a level. I think you were only down 1.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So over those 24 hours, for the most part, you are actually spending in the boat, in the vessel, which makes sense. You are hiding out, trying not to be caught, trying not to attract any more attention than you already have. The next day, next morning, or almost early afternoon, the vessel pushes off. There's a long series of crates, unmarked crates that are brought aboard, stuffed the hold around where you've set up some of it a little bit further back. There's a bunch around that kind of back patch where there are already a couple and looked like somebody had set up a little lantern of sorts or something back there. And then push off. Wayland, you've never really been on a boat before, let alone left the city, so you spend a good portion of this time up on the deck, or at least peeking out and trying to get a sense of things, curiosity overtaking you. You see people running around the boat, manning some oars, pushing off, using the oars to nudge back and forth between other vessels. People aren't really rowing because you're, for the most part, going down river. It's just navigating with a rear oar and kind of pushing around on the ground, which the crew that you see, there's 4 of them, seem to do all right. There's the old woman, or older woman, Yanan, and her daughter, Shifra. And then you see another man and a woman who seem to know each other quite well. I mean, the whole crew knows each other. Kind of moving about, breaking free of the traffic, I guess is really the best way I could put it, that is the docks of Arches Bridgetown. Begin floating down. After maybe 10 minutes or so of kind of slowly picking up speed as you drift downriver, Shifra and Man, the 2 of them taking turns at the steering oar. And then you notice something you've never seen before, or at least you've never really seen that close. You see the wall. This shimmering wave that rises from the water up, disappearing into the sky, curving backwards over you, form a dome over the whole city. Just disappearing, though. You can't see it more than 20, 30, 50 feet away. And as you pass under it, feel it. It is this, it's almost like a mist, just a fine mist that you can feel across your face as you and the rest of the boat moves through it.
As we move through it, Wayland would definitely try to stay with it and run back along the ship to try to stay in it as long as possible.
Well, as you do, it's shimming around with you. It's a little tingly, not quite ticklish, but it is a strange sensation. And then it's gone, disappearing over the back of the boat. And you are officially out of Arches and in the wilderness. Of course, you're only kind of in the wilderness. You're on the river being the safest place that anybody has discovered in the wilderness. You begin to float down. There isn't a whole lot of rush anybody's putting into this. Folks are generally saving up strength for when rowing will become necessary and just letting the currents take everyone down. As soon as you're out, though, activity aboard slows a bit. There's no longer anybody really manning the oars to the side. They're pulled in and stashed along the side of the cabin, waiting until they're needed. Yanan wanders inside the cabin and can kind of begin to smell something cooking. It is going to be maybe a week or so before you reach your destination. Is there anything you would like to do on this trip? Or shall we just start rolling to see if there's any encounters every day?
So at some point, I'm going to say, as the ship is coming underway, Rez is suddenly out of the hammock and full of beans, a little bit bleary at first and talking in Botong half in his sleep, until he realizes blearily that he's on a boat. And then seems to really come alive. And he jumps up to the deck, speaking in Botong to the crew, helps out wherever he can quite deftly, as if he's done this a million times before, offering to do jobs that he knows needs to be done, simply doing others that are apparent need tending to, and probably seeming more alive and more at home than any of you have ever noticed. And at some point, within the first day's voyage, it's going to occur to him that he doesn't know where we're actually going. So we're looking for Jesse's dad, so I would find Wayland at some point, or maybe we could do this over dinner. We eat together?
I'll say nothing happens for the first day or so you can get a sense of how things go. In general, the way the day works is folks take turns, one person on the steering oar, one person kind of perched on top of the cabin up near the ballista, keeping an eye out and directing the oarsman. And, throughout the day, there isn't really a whole lot that goes on. There's some cards that get played. There are a few, there's various games actually that get played because the Nyoka love their games. Yanan ends up cooking a lot. She spends actually probably the majority of her time preparing soups and other things. Sometimes Kyrie ends up catching fish off the prow. You find out that Kyrie is Schiffer's son-in-law. He's married to Farah, who is the other woman, Matt. And you've seen him a couple times, but you don't really see him more than just at meals, where sometimes he'll grab it and take it back to his portion of the hold. But there is Schiffer's son, Yakiel. You learn is grieving the loss of his wife. But yeah, other than that, other than the one person who is kind of taking turns at the oar while you all eat together.
So, scene set, are we having dinner together?
Yeah. Actually, for dinner, everybody would be there because you would have basically stopped the boat, thrown down an anchor.
Rez tucking into a plate of food and throwing fawning eyes at the chef. Was it the grandmother who did the cooking, you say?
Yeah, Yanan.
He fawns over the food. He calls Yanan grandmother. He is so happy to be somewhere nobody's trying to kill him and where people can make properly spiced food. But in between bites, he says to nobody in particular, "So, where are we actually going? I got so wrapped up in the, running like hell and people trying to kill us that I never managed to ask, where is your dad? North, south?"
Well, south. Probably. Think so. Good chance. Most of the first place he went when he left was Haven, and that's where most of his correspondence came through. And that's...
I'm sorry. Rez abruptly stops eating. He was in Haven.
He was.
Is that where we're going?
It is.
We're going to Haven.
Was I not speaking common? Yes. Yeah, we're going to Haven. Rez,
Okay. How do I explain this?
how many people there want to kill you?
Only my father.
Oh. So, I mean, numerically, we're doing better.
And he's not gonna try.
Not gonna.
We're going to Haven. This is going to be. That's fine. How do we? God.
Waylon gets really excited. Runs away from the table, down to the hall, runs back up with a little box and puts it down on the table and goes, "You were completely passed out during this." And I push the disguise kit towards him. And I smile like a Labrador retriever. It's got mustaches and like 2 wigs.
Oh, they all know me too well.
In front of you is a somewhat ornate box that when you open it, there does indeed appear to be all manner of little bits and bobs for changing one's appearance. There's a few mustaches in it. There's, I think I said 2 wigs. There's various bits of makeup that are meant to disguise or add age or generally change one's appearance. It is a masterwork disguise kit.
Yeah. Waylon's like doing mustaches and closing one eye and kind of holding them up over Rez's face. Ooh, you should go for the handlebar.
I take the most out of place mustache in the box and hold it up to my face. Are they pre-stickied?
No.
Yeah, you definitely need a paste to put them on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this would end up being, you have now very long Dali style mustache. It curls a little bit at the end. One of them curls up, one of them curls down.
Jesse, I know you've been hard at work on Rez's portrait, but I think you have to revise it now.
Make a new layer, plop it down.
I look at it as if giving it serious consideration, and then put it down. I was saying, you're not going to need to hide. My father is Haven. He runs Haven. He founded Haven. He was there before Haven existed. God, I don't know where to begin with this. I'd say steer clear of him, but you never could. He'll know anything you need to know about your father. He knows everything that happens in that town. That weird little town. Oh boy. Okay. We are there on school business, right? Right? Yes, nod your head yes. Everybody, we're here on school business. I was sent to Arches to learn the mysteries of Arches. If I come back now, there would be explaining to do. But if I'm there on school business to advance my position, it's fine.
Well, if you think about it from a certain point of view, you're really doing a personal favor for the head of the Thrupp Institute.
It is, yeah, I am. This is okay. This is we can work with this. This is fine. If he thinks there's advantage to be gained by helping us on our little journey, then my presence with you will be an asset and not a liability.
There's a very loud belch from the other side of the table. And you turn down, and Shifra's just looking at you. To be fair, her kids are looking at you. Yanan is looking at you. They're all just eating, very, very interested now in this new drama. And Shifra, I'm sorry. Don't mind us. You very interesting. Just keep going.
They're in a show. Okay.
It's okay. You'll all know once we dock down.
Oh, we knew. We're just enjoying the show.
You knew that my father was Irvin Orr.
Why do you think we took you in?
I knew that everybody knew him. I hoped everybody didn't know me, at least up in Arches.
Oh, we owe your mom some favors.
Why are you charging us $70? Oh, right.
Just pay them. It's a fine price, and this is a fine boat.
Hmm.
Look, normally we would hire some people who actually knew how to sail, but you know, one is better than none, and we'll take the payment.
Glad to hear you know me more through my mother than my father.
Oh yeah, no, that shitlord. No, we're good.
Great. Then I no need to give you the speech. He's always looking to get one over on people. The Nook are generally safe at his docks because of my mother. She's one of the people of the river. But anybody else who passes through, he'll take what he can from you. Probably won't leave you outright, but the next worst thing. He's a shitlord is exactly the right word.
I lean over to Derek like, what's the next worst thing?
I think I have to do some research on that.
It's extortion by a man who thinks he owns a city.
Oh, okay. I knew that.
Child, I'm starting to get very uncomfortable with our prospects here.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's a little uncomfortable for me. Unless something's changed in the last few months that I've gone that I don't know about.
Well, I mean, there's. No, you'll find out when we get there.
That doesn't sound the least bit ominous.
Oh no, it'll be fine, I'm sure.
In boat tongue. Will you tell me and not the others?
I may tell the others, but not you.
Rez can't help but laugh. All right, surprise it is then.
All right. Well then, there's nothing else you're gonna do tonight. I suppose, shall we begin?
There's one thing I would like to do, although this could happen gradually, is to look at the symbol on the note that I was given more closely, and see if I can recognize any elements of it.
Yeah, give me an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check.
14.
14? You've seen pieces of this. And I guess with the 14, you know where you've seen pieces of this. You have seen a skull with a rod connected by a weaving pattern in the seal to the note, or to the letter rather, that you and Derek pulled out of Dean Augustus's body, or his coat.
Hmm. I would like to go show this to Derek and ask him. He still has that letter, right?
You're showing it to me and asking that?
Yeah, and asking if we could compare them.
Yes, of course. He opens up his logbook and leafs through pages and plucks out where he stuck the letter.
Are they the same, exact same symbol?
Not the exact same symbol, but that's also not really how crests and coats of arms and such work. It's not about the whole thing being identical as it is the parts. What this lacks that the seal has is the crest of arches, which is the 3 bridges and the 5 stars and the lantern or torch. Yeah, it's a torch. However, this is all of the pieces that were added to the Seal of Arches.
Would this ring any bells for me?
That's what I was going to ask.
How so? I mean, do you remember what the seal was?
I remember. Was that the seal for that college that was closed?
Yep. The School of Reclamation.
That's the name. Totally not necromancers.
That is interesting information.
It appears that there is more going on than we may have been privy to.
Quite a bit. I don't know what action to take by this note. It was the only lead I had to go on. I can't say it's especially helpful. But it is something to look out for.
Do you need a reminder of what was said around the note when you were handed it?
No.
Okay.
Well, I thought that it was someone that I could talk to, right? Someone who might know about...
Notes?
Well, I have the text of the note, like what it says.
Yeah, there was... He said something to you as he handed it to you.
Trust no one or something like that?
That's what it said on the note.
So, what happened was he said, and I think this is paraphrasing, because this is just my notes when I was trying to figure out what was going to be written exactly on it. Speak to some of our patrons. We have some who are exploring some of the more scientific elements of this entity. Takes a pen and ink and a small slip of paper, writes something down on it, and walks over to you and puts it into your palm. Start here. So, yes, whether that was actually where to start or whether that was just his way of saying nothing is anyone's guess. I suppose really it's your guess.
Yes.
So, Waylon would be doing two things in general. One, he'd be exploring everything and asking lots of questions and wanting to know how everything on the ship worked. But the other thing he'd be doing is when everybody, gets annoyed with him and kicks him out and he goes back down to the hull, he'd be trying to figure out a way to make the lockbox with our capital more secure. There's a more secure way to wrap it up, making sure that it's well built, see if he can find any way to put banding on it, whatever he can, muster with his limited supplies, because it's a lot of money to carry with us.
That it is. So are you utilizing an artificer ability, or are you just non-mechanically trying to do this and figuring out what we can do there? I'm trying to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know your character's abilities better than I do.
I'm not going to waste time here with. I'm not sure. I don't know how magical techie versus what's practical in your world, and I'll text you about that to figure out practical applications.
Yeah, I would say figure out a couple things that you would like to do, and we can, between sessions, maybe figure out what actually happened and do some rolls and all that.
Cool. Got it.
Anything else anybody wants to do tonight before we start rolling? All right. Well, I'm going to say that was the first day. There are 7 days in the week. So who wants to roll as the person who is keeping watch and just keeping an eye out and trying to see what's happening on the second day?
Pick one.
All right. Rez, give me... This isn't going to be perception roll. This is going to be a straight percentile roll to see if something happens.
I got 22.
Okay. On the second day, the skies, this is now, let's see, this is June 3rd, 243. And on this day, the skies darken. There's a bit of a thunderstorm that rolls through. You can hear the low rumble as lightning crackles out of the sky elsewhere over the mountains. It's not really nearby. You get rain. There's a warm summer rain hits the boat, crashes against it. For the most part, throughout the day, you all hole up underneath, trying to spend as little time on deck as possible.
Rez is out in the rain laughing.
Look at me now, Dad! With the 22, however, that's about where it stops. The rain passes. It's on. Who wants to take the second roll?
I'll give it a go. But, well, that's weird.
Hey, 22.
On the second day, June 4th, the storm doesn't abate. It stays where it is. Thunder crackling closer, rain pummeling the ship. The river, which has been, it's a steady flow up there. It's not a quiet, languid river. Grows more so. The boat rocks back and forth in a way that it hasn't over the last few days. Lightning strikes a couple times trees along the river's edge, and throughout the day, beginning of the day, Shifra has you all disassemble the ballista. It's on the roof, bring it in, keep it from being struck. Towards the end of the night, the thunder abates. The rain stops. And you wake up to a mist that surrounded the boat. You can't see very far. It is very thick fog. The only way you know you're still going in the right direction. Thank the run for river currents. The fact that, frankly, there isn't a whole lot of steering to be done. You're just being pulled downriver where you want to go. Who is watching? Who's on watch on this third day? I guess fourth day. Aster? All right. Can I get a perception check? 8. You have any bonuses?
It adds up to 12.
Good. With an 8, you weren't going to notice anything. But with a 12, as you are drifting, Shifra is spending most of her time on that back oar, helping steer clear of any debris in the river, which there isn't much, but you have to be careful. You look out over the edge, and there is something that you see off in the mist. Off to the left of the boat.
Is there a shape? An identifiable shape?
It's big. It's in the water. Round. Seems to be some sort of plant. It just kind of drifts by.
If I hold out my light over the edge of the boat and I see it more clearly.
You take your light, hold it out over the boat, and in this fog, it disappeared. The light refracting off of the mist, making everything that much more difficult to see.
Mm.
That's why you don't turn your brights on at night.
I guess I will just wait, keep watching more attentively. Is it just past the shape as we move downriver?
That passes by. Then, a couple minutes later, you see another one off on the other side of the boat. Just barely touching through the mist. You can almost invisible. And I'm sorry,
Is there-
Peter, but your cat is fucking amazingly cute right now.
Yeah, I got completely
Uh,
distracted.
Sorry,
It's okay.
she needs the pets, so
Give her the pets. Don't deny her
Yes.
the pets.
No, please always give the pets.
It's baby.
pet me.
Give the pets pets.
Also, the reason that I'm sitting on the floor is because there's a little creature down here.
Oh yeah.
This Maeve. She lives under this chair.
Aw.
And if you hear her snorting in the background, she has like a
She's just doing
respiratory. She has a respiratory issue, so she's just snorting all the time. So you might just hear the occasional like.
Computer.
That's what's going on. So
But anyway.
is there? Yes. Anyway, are there any more details I can notice? I can pick out if I try and look more closely in the dark at this shape.
Because I'm not a fan of just repeating ability checks without a change in the scenario, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I don't really see any more just by continuing to watch.
And Shifra is awake.
Shifra is. I mean, this is the middle of the day.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can barely see anything. It is just lots of mist, and she is in the back of the boat, minding that rear oar.
I'm gonna walk back. No. If I walk back there, then there's no one watching the front. Right?
Yeah. Folks are generally inside today.
I guess I'll just keep watching, and she'll probably see it, and if there's one that's coming straight up ahead, I'll warn her.
She might be on the other side of the boat, but if you want, like, you can call out to her. It's,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an 80-foot long boat.
Shifra, do you see these shapes in the water?
Let me roll for her. Bit of a pause, and then... Yeah, I think I do. Oh,
Do you know what they are?
unfortunately, yes. Hear her cursing under her breath a little bit.
What is it?
I think we may have stumbled into an uncanny.
Valley?
I don't know what that is.
So I would say that with your travels, you do know what this is. This is
I do.
a folk tale that you've heard from a few folks. People don't tend to believe they exist until they say that they've experienced them.
So it's a UFO.
More like the Bermuda Triangle.
That makes sense.
Uncanny lands are areas where the wilderness stops making sense. And what's more, they appear to move. Either that or they just don't exist, because people have found them, will tell people where they are, and then they're gone. And those people are then proceeded to be mocked and made fun of in various taverns up and down the run. As she says this, you look back over the side, and sure enough, what you see is a lily pad. The edge of a enormous lily pad. It's 5, 10, 15 feet wide. It's this massive, round, green leaf floating in the water. A couple of smaller ones near it. And after a few minutes, you can see the fog does clear a little bit, and you can see little glimpses of the shore. And there are patches of grass that are gigantic. There are trees that are thicker than any tree you've ever seen. You can't see the tops of them, just bits of trunk. Water as you look down is an odd crystal clear. And right next to the boat, you look down and, further away, things get a little hazy and hard to see through the mist, but looking straight down, as soon as you hit the water, you can see everything underneath you. You can see the stones. You can see a few fish dart by. And then one giant shape swim after.
What kind of shape?
It's hard to make out. It was dark, brownish, greenish, blackish. It's hard to say. It was very fast.
Just keep watching.
You hear the waves slap gently against the boat. The river is now very quiet, very calm. You can hear Shifra whispering something to, you're not entirely sure, but you're guessing that it's probably Yanan. Poked their head out the cabin in the back and calls out to you a little bit louder, but terribly quiet compared to the way that she has been speaking, and the way you all have been speaking, but loud enough for you to hear. We're going to be very quiet. We're going to be very careful. They say these lands are haunted, and we don't want to disrupt anyone. Do you hear me, child?
Yes.
Good. Tell the others.
I will. Yeah, and I guess where are the others? In the hold?
Where would the rest of you all be? Gonna guess in the hold, but
Definitely in the hold.
Yeah, it's too hot outside.
I mean, if it wasn't raining, then Waylon would probably be on deck just to see the river for the first time. Still pretty novel for him.
So would Waylon have heard this on his own?
it's not raining too hard at this point. It's maybe a light drizzle.
It's up to you. I would have just been pissing about on deck.
I mean, ultimately, it's actually up to you. Like, you know your character.
Sure, I
Okay.
the way that when there's that thick mist, everything gets quiet, and when you're on a river and any voice travels, you probably did hear it and is getting very, very nervous.
I will go down to the hold and pass like a truncated version of the message on to the rest of them to say we all need to be very, very quiet and cautious for the next stretch.
Winwood, as soon as he sees her going down, he immediately follows her. Like, here's an adult going down, that's safer, and Buddy's up next to
I am gonna come back out after.
Oh, he's staying. Waylon is staying down there. He finds Mr. Pushka and is just like butting up next to him.
Les follows you out.
I would say, David, you also are aware of what a uncanny land is. The rest of you, if you think there's a chance that you might, you can give me a Arcana roll.
I do think there's a chance Derek would have heard about it, or
Okay.
read about it at least from a scholarly perspective.
No chance Rez wouldn't have heard the stories, right?
There's a good chance Rez would have heard the stories, but I'm not going to say definitely in the same way that, like, David, I think, definitely would know.
I'm for sure not. Yeah.
Yeah, Derek, if you're looking for scholarly stuff, there's absolutely nobody you've read who's ever taken this seriously. The only stuff that you've read would have been, like, maybe making fun of the superstitions of the sailors and the people crazy enough to leave their walls.
Cool. So I've heard the stories, but think it's a load of crap.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way Wayland would know it. Like maybe, his dad would have told him stories from traveling out or heard from other merchants, but that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Paul Bunyan level of stuff to anybody of any scholarly repute.
13 plus whatever bonus do you think I get for having spent part of my life on the river and another part in bars?
Yeah, I mean, it's 5e, so it would only be advantage. But sure, take advantage.
No better.
All right. Well, so what are you all doing?
Following Aster back out to the deck.
Watching.
Yeah. David goes out.
I'm going to follow Aster back out to the deck and mumble under my breath about child's fairy tales.
I turn around to Josh behind me. You have a way of making sound when you shouldn't. If they think we should be quiet, you should stay in here for now. I'll tell you anything you want to know. I will poke my head back in with the news if there is any.
I can keep to myself and remain quiet when I need to.
You literally fell on me when we first met. All over me. All over.
What is Wayland doing right now? Did you stay down or did you follow everyone else back out?
Wayland was stuck behind the two of them on the ladder to go out. Like he felt guilty not going out with them, but now they're blocking the exit. So he's got to wait for this to resolve before he and Pushka can go out. Because
Derek, Wayland needs somebody to keep him company down here. Okay, think of the child.
I'm not staying down here, he says a little too loudly, and then
Give me a stealth check.
I have no idea what stealth is. Let me see. That's not a great modifier. Not negative. That would be a 5.
He is in the bottom of the hold.
So what did you say?
I probably got as far as I'm not staying, and then when.
So he might be in the bottom of the hold, but you two are not. My understanding, at least, is that you two are kind of arguing around the entrance. So
I was on the ladder. He was below me in the ladder.
Okay. Well, still, Wayland kind of yells this up at you a little bit. Maybe not yells, but says rather loudly. And as you do this, there is a bit of a groan as something pulls against the side of the boat. You can feel it just veer off course just slightly back. And suddenly you can hear Shifra calling quietly, but still calling to the crew. All right, everybody, get your asses out here.
This is not good. This is not good.
You can hear Shifra calling quietly, but still calling clearly into the cabin. Everybody, I think we're going to need that ballista. All hands. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
The children of Ash is Jesse as Wayland Thrupp, Josh as Derek Henridge, Peter as David Davidson, Valentine as Rez Orr, Juliet as Aster Marestes, and myself, Dylan, as the storyteller. This episode features sound design by Tabletop Audio, 5e player options from Nations and Cannons by Flagbearer Games, and our intro and outro themes were composed and performed by Fester Spunk. We are happy to announce that we are now on Blue Sky as the Children of Ash, and we have a fancy new website at www.childrenofash.com, where you can get information about the world and our cast, as well as find links to our socials and all sorts of other fun stuff. If you aren't already, follow us to be the first to know about news and new releases, and come support us on Patreon. Patrons get early access to episodes, a special title on the Discord server, and they help us pay for equipment and other things that provide you, the listener, with a better experience. So join us if you want to be as awesome as Emil Bush. As always, thank you so much, and we'll see you down the road. Now it's in written format.
There
Honestly, I love that for David.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Like the thought of this like big hulking quiet man keeping a journal is so
love it.
charming. I love him.